I discovered that everybody was talking about mental health, but nobody was talking about stress. So when we talk about mental health, talk about depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and some other mental health disorders, but nobody actually talks about stress. And the issue is this: people are depressed because they don't have enough resilience. So when your resilience is very low, your stress level will be very high. That's the reason why a lot of people come under stress, because they can't cope. So I started teaching people to say that you need to manage stress first of all before you talk about any mental health condition. In fact, if you are able to manage your stress very well, you won't be depressed, you won't be anxious, you won't have anything to do with any mental health disorder, because people cannot cope. That is why they break down mentally.
This is the Stronger Business Together podcast, where business owners learn from other owners. No theory, no gurus, just real journeys and overcoming real hurdles. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Emmanuel Akpe, who runs TSM Wellness. And like any business owner, he's in the middle of building things, fixing things, and growing something that really matters to him. So, Dr. Emmanuel, let's do Act 1, all about your business. In plain English, what does your business do?
Thank you very much, Granger. This is a great opportunity for me to share my ideas and what I've been doing for some time now. But TSM Wellness is actually a business stress management consultancy based in Cheltenham. We basically help business owners create a simple stress management plan and policy that can work for their business, helping them identify stressors that are embedded in their businesses and how it's affecting their businesses, their productivity, and their health. So we do this by some offerings. Our major offerings are business stress audit guide, which is a simple guide I've written to help people, more like a diagnostic tool to help business owners identify the stressors in their businesses and to fix it. It's a self-guide, so you can actually do it on your own. You don't need me to do that for you. You don't need to spend so much to do that. It's all available on my website. We also got a free stress policy template. So I created this template, which is HSC compliant, to help business owners actually just copy and paste. So they have a document which they follow in case they are having issues with stress. And it will surprise you to know that there is a legal requirement for every business to have a stress management policy. But guess what? I have spoken to over 100 business owners and none of them have any stress management policy. So because they feel stress is not something that is an immediate problem or something that requires urgency. Then we've got training sessions. I've done in my career as a stress management consultant, I've done over 100 trainings in different parts of the world. And in England or in the UK generally, I have done over 15 training sessions, and my training sessions are very impactful. People see that stress is a major problem and they tackle it because it's result oriented. Unlike what you have, which is basically abstract, mine is practical every day. And my background as a medical professional gives me an idea of what is happening in the body when you are under stress. So it helps me explain it to you and you understand, because you can actually recollect feeling those symptoms. So it's easy for you to understand what I'm saying, and it works very well. So I've created a flagship program, which I call Business Stress Transformation Program, which is a 90-day program for business owners. And we are actually targeting businesses that have about 5 to 100 employees and they have so much to do. So most of them are experiencing burnout. So this program will actually identify the stressors and measure impact. So we'll create a solution and measure impact. As part of this, we'll do a stress audit of your business. Then we'll write a stress management policy for you. I'll write it myself, and I'll create a stress management plan for the business, which will monitor over 90 days to see where it's failing and how we can adjust. And also train staff, because in organizational stress management intervention is more effective than individual coping strategies. So when people understand that stress is better managed from the organizational level, it's easy for everyone to cope with. So, and our unique selling point is basically we see stress as a business risk, not just a personal problem. So when people experience burnout, their employer says, go home and rest, but it's causing you some risk, it's causing you some money. So we tackle it based on a business risk, not just some wellness training where they talk about mindfulness, resilience, and all that. So we're talking about how much impact it's having on your business and what you can do to sort it out.
Excellent. Well, I really love that. I mean, it's an important thing for every business owner to have. You've already mentioned that it's a legal requirement, but
Yeah.
it's actually a moral requirement. But also, as you say, it's a really impactful thing on a business if we're getting stress wrong in our business because we're losing hours, we're losing people, and we don't want that to make happen. So really important for business owners to understand and to implement and to sort out. Thank you very much for that real insightful thought at the beginning there of what you do and how you do that. So tell me more about the business. When did it start? What was your original spark, your idea?
Okay, I started the business from Africa, Nigeria to be precise, in 2015, where I took the business from a point where I was trying to create awareness to a point where it became a national issue. So I was on national TV for about 5, 6 times, on national radio, creating awareness. Because when I started in 2015, it was not an issue. People really were not talking about stress. They felt stress was a personal problem people deal with every day. So it wasn't something that they need to handle. So when I came in, I saw that people were suffering from stress from personal experience because I actually did some observation. I was working in the clinic at that time, and I noticed that it was a very big clinic. So I noticed that a lot of people coming into the clinic were stressed out from different issues, and many of them were business owners. So I engaged one of them, and I discovered we got to a point where she said actually that she was experiencing stress. Her business was about shutting down, and it's affecting her whole body. That's why she's in the hospital. So a lot of people are going to see the GP for issues they think is health-related, not knowing that it's as a result of how they are responding to stress. And I thought of it that, what if I start creating awareness about stress and letting people know that this is a major issue they need to tackle? Because I discovered that everybody was talking about mental health, nobody was talking about stress. So when we talk about mental health, talk about depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and some other mental health disorders, but nobody actually talks about stress. And the issue is this: people are depressed because they don't have enough resilience. So when your resilience is very low, your stress level will be very high. The reason why a lot of people come under stress because they can't cope. So I started teaching people to say that you need to manage stress first of all before you talk about any mental health condition. In fact, if you're able to manage your stress very well, you won't be depressed, you won't be anxious, you won't have anything to do with any mental health disorder because people cannot cope. That is why they break down mentally. So when I started talking about it, I wrote a lot of letters to organizations, I wrote to my government, I wrote to churches. And in 2015, there was economic recession in Nigeria, and a lot of people were committing suicide. So when this started happening, people remember that there's this guy that has always been talking about stress, and they linked it together that it's because people cannot cope with the situation of the country. That's why they are doing that. So they invited me on national TV, invited me on national radio to come and create awareness. And that is how TSM Wellness started. So when I came over to England, I noticed the same thing, same pattern. People were not talking about stress, but they were heavy on mental health. And I started creating awareness again, started reaching out to people. It's not been easy because, informing people about a problem they are not aware of. It's actually a big challenge, Because so it's when you know you are aware of the problem, that is when you know there's a solution. But when you're not aware, you don't even want to buy the solution. So my problem is creating more awareness and getting people to understand that this is a major issue. So when I came into the UK, I saw the situation of things and I saw how business owners were suffering. And I decided to start up TSM Wellness again in the UK. I remember the first training I did, it was a charity organization. And when I finished the training, everybody was overwhelmed by how much information I had about stress and how it's managed. And that singular session led to 5 more invitations in different parts of United Kingdom. People wanted to know more about what I said. They invited me to major conferences to come speak. And that is how TSM Wellness started. So I wasn't planning to go into stress management. I saw there was a problem and I decided to tackle it head on.
Brilliant. Well done. Yes, that's what we all need. That's how we grow businesses, that seeing a need and working out how to fill it and make that happen. I mean, okay, so you've talked about leads and initial type of activities you've done. So how do you generate leads today? Leads being, that first initial contact, which then potentially turn into sales. So what is your lead generation?
So I've got a funnel. I use the free stress my management policy template as a lead generation. So people want to get it free because it's free. People want to get the template. And once they get the template, they enter into the funnel and they see other products that I have. I've got so much information on what other things I do. And if they feel that, okay, I need something extra concerning stress, then they get across to me. I also do LinkedIn posts. I am very active on LinkedIn. I share information, and sometimes people chat me up to say, "Are you available for this conference? We want you to come speak to us about stress." And that has been a major one for me. Then I attend business networking events. I've got a number of them in Cheltenham that I attend. And also, I had to join Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, which is CIPD. Right now, the EDI lead, which is Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion. So I am in charge of that for CIPD in Gloucestershire branch, helping them create events around mental health and stress and how to manage it among people managers. So I've gotten some leads, but it's not enough.
Yeah,
It's not enough,
absolutely.
yeah.
Never
But I've
is
gotten it,
enough. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that is
that's
basically
great. Tell me about what are you aiming for the business to achieve in the next 12 months and why?
basically I want to reach at least 100 business owners and help them create a simple stress management plan for their business. No business owner deserve to be sick because they are running a business. The first time I came into the UK, I met someone who just started a business and was very excited about it. That initial excitement. I'm doing something, I'm opening a shop, that kind of thing. So, but after running the business for about 2 months, she just shut it down. The stress was too much. It wasn't as glamorous as he said, as you see it outside.
Never
When you
is.
see business owner, you see how posh they look, you think they are doing very well, but you get it, you see that the pressure could be too much. So I want to reach out to people like that who are struggling and stress is already beginning to affect their health. I want to see how I can to help them to reach their goal and also achieve their aim.
Yes. I mean, pressure is a normal thing of life, and pressure running a business is, you know, absolutely the standard. That it does exist, but as you say, it's how you interpret that pressure and how you manage that pressure. Yeah, will then affect you. So fantastic. Yeah, really exciting. 100 business owners you're trying to impact. So let's move on to Act Two now, your journey. So over the last few years, both in the UK and in Nigeria, building a business, we have highs and lows. Take us through some of the highs and lows for you of building your business.
Yeah, so as part of the highs, when my business suddenly became a national issue and a lot of people were calling me, that was a high moment for me because I felt that I have actually achieved what I set out to do. I remember one day I got called to come speak at a conference of over 10,000 people. Yeah, so holding in Nigeria, people came from all over the world and they called me, just saw my posts on Facebook and they said, I think we need what you're teaching. Come teach us. After teaching about 10,000 people, I got more invitations. I was traveling almost every week to different parts of the country and even different parts of Africa to do trainings on stress management. So that was a high point in my journey. The low point I could suggest is having to shut down everything I was doing in Nigeria to come over to the UK to say, okay, I want to start afresh and make what I'm doing more global. That was a low point for me because it felt as if I was starting all over again and building same thing I was building in Nigeria. I was just starting afresh. It was a low point for me. But when I remember how the thing blew up in Nigeria and how I got a lot of speaking engagements I just kept at it and I've been pushing, hoping that one day I will get the needed break to reach out to a lot of people in England and the UK.
Well done. I mean, yes, some real highs and lows and the difficulties around that.
Yeah.
Building our businesses, it gets hard sometimes. Maybe we call it stress, maybe we just call it pressure, maybe just call it getting hard. But what have you learned about yourself as a business owner when things have got hard?
What I learned was the fact that I have a lot of resilience because at some point in my journey, family members were calling to say, I don't think this thing is working. You should stop it and go get a job. And of course, if you're in Africa, working as a medical professional earns you a lot of money, So abandoning that to say, I want to do consultancy, I want to do coaching, I want to do training was a lot of shift for most of my friends and some of my family members. They felt that this is not something you should do. So it was when they started seeing me on national newspapers, on national TV, national radio, that they said, well, we knew you're going to make it one day, but initially it wasn't like that. So I have a lot of resilience. If I say I'm going to do something, I stay with it. And that's something I've learned in business, that resilience pays off. Sticking at it, being consistent, doing it, just keep posting, even if you're not getting comments, you're not getting reactions, people are not talking about it, just keep posting. Somebody somewhere is reading it. I was at a particular networking event sometime last month, and a lady walked up to me to say, anytime I'm stressed out, I go to your LinkedIn page to read your posts. What if I wasn't posting? She wouldn't be able to say, I have something to read, that kind of thing. So it has kept me motivated. I find a way to motivate myself. Sometimes there's no motivation from outside. It has to be generated internally. And that has kept me going over the years.
Well done. Yes.
Thank
That
you.
resilience, that determination to keep going on. Fantastic. So one of the principles of the Strong Business Together is making your business life simpler, simplifying things that we do. So do you have any examples of where you have simplified your working practices or simplified your products, what you do, that's helped sort of bring energy back into your business?
Yes, I have done that. So I discovered that using AI and also going digital made things a lot more easy for me. So I don't have to receive calls every time. I remember in those days when I started, I go on radio and I share my phone number and I get tons of calls every day. Sometimes I'm on the phone for 2 days at a stretch without resting. So all that has been made simple. I just channel people through the funnel, and if there's a need for them to see me, then they then go on to book an appointment to see me. So it made things lots more easier for me. And also I saw the need for people to actually do things by themselves. You don't always need me to help you set up a stress management plan. So that's why I wrote templates and I wrote guides that can help people say, okay, I don't really want to pay £1,000 to see the stress manager, as I call myself, but I can get his materials and do it myself and get the same results. So that has make the work very easy for me. I don't have to always be engaged. I don't have to travel all over the country to do trainings. Materials have made it easy for people to access me.
Brilliant. Love it. And, business is a set of repeating activities, habits, whatever you like to call them, rhythms. What's some habits that you have built into your business that keeps you strong and focused?
Well, the major one, which I will explain here, is I don't make a decision when I'm under stress. I don't make a decision when I'm anxious or I'm not mentally stable or emotionally stable. I allow myself to be calm. I take out time to do some breathing exercises. Just take out time, go somewhere. Sometimes I go to the toilet just to have an alone time and to be calm, mentally stable enough to make a decision. Because I've discovered that I've lost a lot of money while making hasty decisions under stress. Especially when you are under pressure, people are putting pressure on you. Make the payment now, make the payment now. If it's not now, then you can't make it anymore. I don't do that anymore. So if you cannot wait, then let it go. Let the business go. So that is my strategy, and that has given me a lot of peace of mind. I am not in a hurry to make money. So I take it one step at a time, and I've built it into my business. Nobody makes a decision in my business, including my team. Start first of all being stable mentally and emotionally. So when their mind is clear, they can make that decision. And I want to give you a typical example. There are some people that have made some bad decisions that have lost thousands and millions of pounds just under the spur of the moment. They say, click this and you get this done. And you just click it without even thinking about it, and money goes. A lot of people have lost money to scammers. A lot of people have lost money to all in the name of making their business, to grow their business. They've lost money in different ways to fraudsters. But if you're mentally stable, you are not under a rush to put in money, you will make a better decision. So I have never been scammed. So that is one thing I've learned. It's a major habit for me, and it's working very well for me.
Brilliant. I love that. So much advice rolled up in that one set of sentences there. Fantastic, Dr. Emmanuel. Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned AI, that's helping you. We're all using AI, but where would you not use AI? Where did you think human judgment is more important?
I wouldn't use AI agents to listen to a client and give them advice. Sometimes everything is programmed now, so you just call an organization and an AI is speaking with you. Once I know it's an AI, I just cut it off. I wouldn't use it because we still need that emotional reaction to people. When you're talking to someone on the phone, you are gauging the person's reaction, you're gauging the person's mental capacity and stability. So I wouldn't want anybody to replace that, and I wouldn't replace that myself to say, okay, let me get AI agents to answer my calls or to send out emails. Sometimes the emails that are sent out by either Cloud or ChatGPT, any of them, don't have this human feeling. There's a human attachment to things. So for instance, if I'm going to send you an email, there is a human attachment I'm going to add to that email. So, but AI is just generates it, whether it's good or not, it doesn't care and sends it out. So I will never outsource that aspect to AI, and I wouldn't advise anyone to do that. Sometimes you call some organizations and it's AI that picks up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people have started that. Yeah, you get AI to answer your calls, to refer people, to give people advice. It's totally wrong, and I wouldn't suggest that. There was a case in US where someone used AI to generate, a lawyer used AI to generate some cases. And when it was examined, they were all fake. There was no case like that.
Yeah.
So
I was reading that article as well. Absolutely. No, totally agree. And that's one of the principles of the Stronger Business Together, which we set up, my partner and I, is around better decisions with peers, because you can't outsource decision making to AI. You can get maybe some advice and some ideas, but actually when you come together as a group of humans and you talk about it, you get better insights. You can read people's faces and understand what's going on. And that's the real nuance of what to be human is, and to help each other to make better decisions. And that's why one of our principles is there. So fantastic. Thank you for that amazing share. So let's move on now, Dr. Manuel. Let's move on to Act 3, our hurdle. So what's the hurdle that you brought with us today for us to talk through?
I want to be completely honest, and that is the fact that a lot of people don't see stress as a major problem. Part of my hurdle is actually getting more clients, getting more people to believe they actually need the solution I'm offering. It's a lot of business owners see stress as a soft problem, something that doesn't require an emergency response. So they only respond when it is already affecting someone's health, or a lot of their staffs are experiencing burnout, like a case I read recently where the employee was saying they went for a medical check and almost everybody had high blood pressure as a result of how rigorous the work is. So people don't see it as an emergency until it's too late. So my major challenge is trying to reach out to people to get them to buy the solution that I'm selling.
Okay, so we're talking about leads, people turning up to try and understand more, or we're talking about you've got leads and then you're trying to sell the solution?
People trying to understand what I'm selling.
Okay.
So once it gets into my funnel, they're most likely going to buy, because they now realize that stress was actually a problem that they didn't have any solution to. So, but
Okay.
getting them to come into the funnel, that is the challenge.
Excellent. Okay. So we're talking about sort of lead generation of people, understanding that there are ways of helping themselves as business owners, this is to understand and improve, reduce stress through the services that you are bringing through. Okay. Right. So let's start off. Where are you today? So we talk about this funnel. How many leads are coming through your funnel on a daily, weekly, monthly basis at the moment? What's the current condition?
Okay, right now in a week is between 5 to 10 coming in a week to say, okay, I want to know more about what you're doing. And some end up collecting the free stress management plan and don't go further from there. But at least in a week, I get people coming in to say, okay, what are you offering and how can you help us?
Okay, so you're getting between sort of 5 to 10 leads per week coming in at the
Yeah,
top end, and
yeah.
where are they coming from? What's triggered them to come in and ask those questions within your funnel?
I think most of them are coming from LinkedIn, and surprisingly, some came through TikTok. I posted a video on TikTok, and a lot of people wanted to know what it's all about, and I got lots of reaction. As at today, it's over 120,000 views on
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah, and so many reactions because people didn't know that
Okay.
there was a link between stress and their health.
Okay. So I just want to pick up one of the words. You said the word "I think." So do you actually track and know where each of your leads have actually come from?
So for now, no,
Okay.
no. Everybody just
Okay.
comes to the funnel.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So people are coming into the funnel, but we're not sure where they're coming from. So we don't know what activities that we are doing in the marketplace is triggering people to come into that funnel and start to understand. And that's one of the first requirements of any really good marketing, which is hard because we can't always track that. Well, we have to work out how to do it. One of the
Yeah.
things that we did in the Stronger Business Together was we had some data from 4 years when we were working in another organization, and we looked at that data, but it took us probably 2 years to work out how to actually really make that data work and understand it. So that's the first thing that's really important, because once you know what's working, you just need to do more of it or just make it better. So rather than new, so we use this expression of better, more, new. You're 20% doing things better, maybe 7% doing more, and then only 10% is on new things. So we've got these things out there. So let's just speculate. So you talked about LinkedIn. So what's happening on LinkedIn that people are turning up and saying, yes, I want to know more, and they're coming into the top of your funnel?
My posts, I try to make my posts as engaging as possible, as emotional as possible. So you read it and you're like, this is actually me, because I try to describe what I'm talking about. So that has given me some engagement. Some people don't really engage, but they just come to my inbox to say, okay, I'm interested in what you are offering. How do I go about it?
Yeah. Yeah. So is it your inbox as in email inbox, or is it a funnel inbox? What do you mean by inbox?
LinkedIn messages.
LinkedIn messages. Okay. So
Yeah.
LinkedIn messages. So if somebody comes in through a LinkedIn message, you can then identify
And
where
send them the
they've come
link.
from.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the link that you send to them, you could send them a unique link. So while you can copy your funnel, but you can create a unique copy, which is just for LinkedIn. And you send them then that link, which takes them through exactly the same funnel. But this time you can now track
Okay.
that they've come through
Okay.
LinkedIn. Yeah. So you can
Okay.
use technology to help you track where different people come from. So within LinkedIn, once you start to understand that you're getting, I don't know, say 5, what would we
Yeah.
need to do to maybe get 10? How would we double that lead flow through LinkedIn?
Maybe through collaboration, getting people to collaborate with to say, okay, can you post this for me while I post yours? Maybe cross posting or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it could
That's a
be
good
through,
experiment.
yeah, it could be through LinkedIn ads, which is quite expensive, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
could then I also learned of technology using AI that could integrate into LinkedIn, and it will send direct messages to people to say,
Yep.
this is what I'm offering. And I'm thinking of exploring that too.
Okay. So all those are new things. Okay. So I
Yeah.
said in the structure that 20% is better, 70% is more, and only
Wow.
10% is new. So what you've given me is three new things. What I ask you is, what are you doing today that you could spend 20% of your time on LinkedIn making it better, you or your team? What would you focus on and making better? You can experiments that you would do.
Yeah, increasing the times I post. I
Okay.
feel the more times you post on LinkedIn, the more impression you get and the more
Yep.
engagement you get. Yeah, so I'm working on increasing the rate at which I'm posting. I post almost every other day, but probably increasing it to two, three times in a day just to gain traction and to get people to know what you're
Yes.
doing. I know it's going to
Perfect.
work.
So that's the more, absolutely doing more, doubling your activity, doing
Yeah.
that for a number of months and seeing if there's a change in the number of people that then request through your messaging to learn more and identify more. Absolutely. So that's definitely the more. What could you do to do better? How would you understand, in the expression in marketing we call the A/B testing. So different types of posts. One could be a fun post, one could be a factual post. So instead of just doing more of your current, slipping in some different styles of post, and this is where we can use AI to help us create different styles and decide those. And you can experiment with a few different types of posts to see if
Okay.
people react differently to those as well. So it's trying to do better, tweaking, making something different within your current style, and then it's just doing more volume and seeing what that does.
Okay. I think I agree with you because I noticed that when I do funny posts that is stress related, I get more reaction than when I do strictly business posts and getting people to understand what I'm talking about. So I totally agree
Yes.
with you.
Because the purpose of the posting is to get people to, well, you need to decide, but from the moment you're saying you want people just to message you, from the messaging, you're then sending them into your funnel. And the funnel is where they learn more, understand
Yeah.
more, start to appreciate what they can actually get from you. And do that, and you've got your free downloads which they can use. So the purpose of the posting then isn't really to say get your free download. Your purpose of the posting is to encourage people to want to interact with you, which then allows you in order to do that. Okay, so if you
Okay.
automate your messaging and you're messaging lots of people, that's a whole new thing you're doing. If you know that posting is working and you've done that in the past, then just trialing different types of posts and doing more of the total posting would then see if that would start to happen. And that's
Okay.
that expression always is better. How can I improve what I'm doing today? Now, you've got lots of different fun marketing activities. We've just picked on LinkedIn for the purpose of this conversation. Otherwise, we'll be here
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's always better. How can I make what I do better? Two or three things can I change to experiment? Then it's more. Just need to do more of what I'm currently doing that's successful to see over a number of months if that then drives more interaction from people. Only sort of 10% of your time should be on new. Okay. And
Okay.
that's the thing you've got to always care about. We as business owners, we love new. We
Yeah,
love the
sure.
excitement of building something new and trying out new technology. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are beautiful, people that just love new, exciting things. Business is about the day-to-day activity of doing the repetitive stuff, which is often boring because it's repetitive. It may not be boring because you're making amazing posts and,
Yeah.
the Dr. Emmanuel post might be great fun to write. Absolutely. I'm not saying that's boring, the things, but it's just, I've got to do it. I've got to do 10 today. I've got to do 5 today. I've got to do 6 this week, whatever it is. You just have to get that repetitivity and then increasing the more. That's where AI can help you do that. So what are your thoughts on that conversation?
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's always avenue for learning more. I just got to know about the 10-20-70 now, and that's something I've always overlooked. Something is working, but we don't really double down on it. We just look at it and try something else. So keep trying new stuff, and at the end of the day, maybe get bored and discouraged, thinking it doesn't work. So I'm really gonna implement that. Absolutely.
And you said earlier on in the podcast, it's a lot of resilience and keeping on
Yeah.
doing the resilient doing things. And that's what a business is about. and
Yeah.
making that happen. So what's one experiment you're going to start tomorrow then to start to see what this could do for you?
So I would pay attention to my posts. So I would do different types of posts and pay attention to the one that has more traction, the one that people are responding more to. Then I double down on it. That's what I'm going to start from tomorrow.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to seeing how that maybe closes the gap and seeing
Yeah.
what starts to happen with that. So thank you so much. Right, let's move on to our wrap up and close. So, Dr. Emmanuel, what did you hear yourself say today, maybe that surprised you?
Really nothing. Basically everything I've said is something I'm used to saying every time.
Perfect. No problem at all. So, Dr. Emmanuel, how can people get hold of you? How can they follow more of your journey?
So I've got a website, www.tsmwellness.com. Once you go to the website, you can book a session with me, which is free, 20 minutes free. So we understand your journey, what you want, and see how we can help. I'm also on LinkedIn as Dr. Emmanuel Akpe. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook, Instagram as this TSM Wellness UK on Instagram. And you could reach out to me. Definitely, we can take it off from there.
Well, thank you so much for this fantastic conversation. Such an important thing for business owners to understand stress, to actually learn to manage stress and their resilience to help them make their business more successful. So thank you so much for your sharing today. I know our listeners will get a huge lot from this conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for spending your time with us today. We're on a mission to make business owners stronger together. If this conversation's helped you, then please like, comment and follow on whatever platform you're using. About 60% of our audience hasn't done that yet, and these small actions will help us reach more business owners just like you. If you want to join in the conversation as a guest, or if you have a hurdle question for us to use in a different podcast, then reach out to us at info@strongerbusinesstogether.com. Now, go make this week really successful, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!